And there's a couple of reasons why it's the best. One is that you can't, as far as I'm aware, I haven't seen it yet, you can't have an immunogenic reaction to it. You can't be allergic to MCT oil. There's nothing in there that can irritate the immune system. So when you're working with a clinic and you've got, hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of patients, if 1 in 100 people has a reaction to cottonseed and 1 in 100 has a reaction, I think it's higher than this, I think it's probably more like 5 to 10, has reactions to the carrier oils, this now becomes a pretty big problem. And so the other benefit of the MCT is because the thinner oil, it's closer to water, you can now use a thinner needle. So I think that if we're going to talk about, and I know Ali's going to ask at Silverback, like what's the best TRT protocol? Because it's a great question. I think if we're talking injectables, from a balance of what's optimal and what's the best for compliance, it's a 3 injections a week, because Monday, Wednesday, Friday is easier than every other day because a 7-day week it moves. And it's got a 10-day half-life. The Saturday, Sunday doesn't matter. And it's doing a 3 times a week shot with a 29 gauge needle of testosterone cypionate, because it's got a fractionally longer half-life than an anthate, which, again, we're talking optimization, so the 5 or 10% matters, into the deltoid with a half-inch 29 gauge insulin syringe. That is something that when I look at that and go, that is doable for everyone, that is extremely stable, extremely optimal. When it comes to subcutaneous, if we're going to talk about daily injections require subcutaneous injections. They might not at first, but when you get a couple of years into it, you're not going to do a shallow IM injection. I don't know. When people go, oh, I do a shallow IM daily injection, like how long have you been doing that for? It's if it's more,
get this, yes.
If it's more than a few years, then I'm coming back to the masochist argument. Because you just get over it and you go, oh, I'm just going to do double the amount every second day. Because again, this medication, I mean, depending on the half-life, the study you're looking at, the half-life is more than a couple of days. It's somewhere between 5 and 10 days, depending on the study. So subcutaneous injections sound great. You don't feel them as much. And it's just easier to do. You've got more kind of fat that you can inject to on the abdomen and the hips than, muscle belly on the shoulder. And it sounds great. And if it worked for everyone, we'd all do it. The problem with subcutaneous injections is they don't work for a decent chunk of people.
Yeah.
If they do work for you, absolutely. If subcutaneous injections worked for me, I would do them. I think the carrier oil is a variable. The thinner the oil, the better it seems to work. But oils don't go into fat as well as water does.